Hey guys, this is Jeff from UnleashThePhones.com, and here's a quick look at the Motorola RAZR, the new Android flagship for Motorola. In a very slim profile, the same old name but a whole new design. I've been very excited to try it out because I really like the design of the Motorola RAZR. It's quite beautiful to look at, and I've gotten a lot of attention using this out in public, especially because of the huge screen. And it uses a micro SIM card, in case you were wondering, which is a huge plus point in today's world where everybody's still using the older SIM cards, except for Nokia's Lumia range and the iPhone. There are some things which are really nice about the Motorola RAZR. For example, you have expandable memory, you have 16 GB of onboard storage, and you have this really beautiful screen. Now again, because it's a huge phone, it is a bit of a task to hold it. For me, I didn't actually find it too bad, but some people might find it a bit hard to use it, and I wouldn't be able to blame them because it is quite huge. So yeah, that's something that's worth noting. The good news though is that even if you do drop it or if it slips out of your hand, there's a Kevlar back panel that is very good build quality. It's actually one of the best build qualities we've seen on an Android phone, and that is definitely saying something. It grips your hand pretty well thanks to the Kevlar, so it won't really drop as often as you would imagine. You find various controls around the phone. For example, you have the volume keys right there, and you have aluminium cut power key right there. You have a 3.5mm jack at the top, a micro USB charging port, and a mini HDMI port right there. And at the side you have, I'm going to try and open this up, but you basically have a slot for the micro SIM card and the micro SD card right there. Yeah, okay, and that's about it for controls. So yeah, as you can see, it's very minimalistic. You have the loudspeaker right there and the 8 megapixel camera that can record 1080p high definition video with a single LED flash. So yeah, pretty good looking phone. One issue I did have with the Motorola RAZR though is that the keys at the bottom don't light up as much as I would like them to. I really have to cover it and use it to get it to turn on, which can be a little bit annoying depending on which situation you are, how well lit a room you are in. Moving on, call quality is pretty okay. It handles calls just fine. It's a very comfortable phone to hold because of the profile at the side right there. So the only down piece is that the earpiece is kind of small, so you will have to try and find a good fit for your ear to try and get as much to actually hear the person on the other line properly. It does take a little bit of repositioning on your ear, which is a problem with all the large screen phones actually nowadays. Audio quality is fine, again, no complaints. It's pretty okay. It depends on the headphones you use with the Motorola RAZR. I didn't use the built-in headphones because they were pretty average. But yeah, there's also Motorola Cast, or Motocast as they call it. It's a PC client that allows you to access music from a computer on your phone using Wi-Fi or 3G, which wasn't really useful to me but might come in useful for a lot of people. Moving on, there's the camera, which is decent, not really my favorite camera, but a lot better than any of the other Motorola phones I've used lately. The focusing is a bit of a problem, but it is touch to focus and it's quite fast when it does work. There's a bit of a problem with shaking the camera too, like even if I take a picture right now, there's the fact that I might shake it at the last minute, which is strange. So yeah, camera quality is pretty decent, not the best, not the worst we've used. Video is a little disappointing though. It records in 1080p, but the quality is pretty bad. It's definitely not the most nicest camera we've used on an Android phone, but considering the slim form factor, it is forgivable, I would say. But again, don't expect to be taking too many pictures on this phone because it's really not that great. One thing that I really like though is that you can access the camera right from the home screen and get to it right from there, which is definitely nice. Coming to software, there's Android 2.3 Gingerbread built in, but there is Android 4.0 Ice Cream Sandwich coming anytime now, according to Motorola. But when it comes along, this phone is gonna get even better, I would say, because it's a really sweet phone. One of the things worth noting is that Motorola has a couple social networking integration tools in the Motorola RAZR. It's all built in. A lot of the Android phones have manufacturer-specific social network integration things nowadays, so it's not really a big deal. And it's also worth noting that for some strange reason, I thought that the Motorola RAZR was a little bit slower compared to the other dual-core phones out there. I thought it was a little bit slower than the Galaxy S2, for example, when playing a really intensive game or basically day-to-day activities. Coming to battery life, here's a bit of good news. In normal use, we managed to get about 1 whole day out of the Motorola RAZR, which is pretty good considering this is an Android phone. Now, if you play a lot of games or you generally have a lot of GPS usage, you probably will get about half a day, but you have 1780 mAh battery powering this baby, so it'll last you through a day. Alright, so to conclude on our massive review, the Motorola RAZR is a pretty good looking phone. The design is definitely top class. It is very slim. It's one of the best build qualities we've ever seen and used on an Android phone. The battery life is pretty good, and the AMOLED screen is really nice. It's really bright and clear, and the resolution is 256 ppi, which is pretty good for a 4.3-inch screen. So it's not that high resolution, but it is pretty good. And most people will like the vibrancy of the phone. So I definitely thought it was a very impressive little phone, much more better than the HTC Sensation, possibly at par with the iPhone 4S and the Samsung Galaxy S2 in terms of desirability. The camera is not that good though. That is something that I really was annoyed with, but it is quick around the corner. Not as fast as the Galaxy S2 and obviously not as fast as the iPhone 4S, but it's a pretty good phone. So yeah, the Motorola customizations again are not defined by me, but they might not be everybody's cup of tea. So to sum it all up, the Motorola RAZR is a really nice little phone. When it was first announced, I really was crazy about it. I had to check it out, and now that I've reviewed it for a month, I think it's a really nice phone to own. It's not really the phone of the year, but it is quite possibly one of the top phones that you should consider buying nowadays. But hey, don't just take my word for it. If you have any questions, do let us know in the comment section below. Or for a better idea, check out the detailed blog post on unleashthephones.com.